What do you say to the critics that say WFG is a hard sell culture? I went to a BPM and boy, they put the pressure on me to sign an AMA and I snuck out the back door. It's a hard sell. What do you say to those people?
I say it depends on which office you go into and what their leadership philosophy is. Because people are not employees and they can run it with their style. And I'm a soft sell. I've been around 23 years and I've never hard sold anyone. I've never hard closed people. It's not my style or my philosophy. And within my organization, I've got a lot of people like me, and I've got a lot of people that are more hard closes. And so I don't think that's indicative of the whole company. And it's not the company philosophy. I've been at the top of the top board meetings, and they don't get around the table and say, let's teach this hard close philosophy. And these hard
But do some people teach
principles.
that? Some of the leaders teach that?
Some do, but not from the top of the company down. Okay. It's somewhere in the middle of the company down.
Okay.
But not from the top. It's not the company's philosophy. The company's philosophy is no family left behind. We bring Wall Street to Main Street. These are some of the slogans. And this is really our company's philosophy. It's more than a slogan. It's our belief system. We're out there trying to help people that aren't being helped by the traditional industry. And so if some people take a slant on that and they hard close or do this, it might be that office, but I promise you it's not the whole company. Just like if you have a bad meal at a chain restaurant, doesn't mean the whole restaurant's bad.
Sure.
Right? Or a bad experience in a Walmart. You go in the Walmart and there's some spilled stuff on the ground. All Walmarts aren't dirty. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's one of those things where someone has one experience and they paint the whole thing with a broad brush. There's some 70,000 agents, licensed agents in our company right now. So that one experience in that one office, that one time, might not be what the whole company stands for.
What do you say to the person that just went to a BPM, now they're watching this, and they see someone who's very successful, been in the business 23 years, and they really did experience a hard sell, but they're still considering it, but they don't like the person that they saw present the BPM. What do you recommend they do?
Well, a couple things. Number one, go on back and get more information and try to meet with somebody else maybe.
Should they go to another office?
They could go to another office. I think if they were introduced by their friend, they ought to share their experience and say, I didn't like how they pushed me so much, but maybe they have my own future in mind. You know who pushes people a lot? Personal trainers and gyms. Why do they yell at you? Come on, 3 more reps. I played sports. You played sports. Our best coaches a lot of times were the tough ones.
Sure.
Not the real soft, intellectual ones. They're the military.
Right.
We've got one of the best militaries in the world. And I think when I did not have the privilege of serving, but I kind of know that Navy SEAL training's tough. And
sure.
that if you want to be a Green Beret or a Ranger, they're tough. Why are they tough on us at a gym? Why are the teachers that are tough on us get the best out of the students? Why is the military tough and produce the best soldiers? Because a lot of times we need that as people. We're going through life without direction and without focus and without enough energy and intention. And sometimes it's not a bad thing to have somebody, if they have our best interest in mind. I think that's the caveat. If they have our best interest in mind, maybe a good push is what somebody needs sometimes. And some people, don't like that. And I can understand. And I appreciate the ones that don't. And some people love it. And I take the softer approach, but I think that's because I'm getting a little older, a little more mature, and I'm financially secure. I think if you saw me...
That makes a difference, right? Yeah.
I think if you saw me 15 years ago, I might have been a little more edgy. But I think the more successful you get in life and the further you go down the road,
sure,
you become a little more peaceful in the way you approach everything.
Sure. Here's something I always wanted to ask you for so many years. I never have. I wanted to ask you of Swan this and you and Andy and a few others maybe, because you guys are literally at the top of this company. Here's my question, and this being a finance major, a lot of people are not familiar, I find, with this term, but you are what they call, as you know, in statistics, in terms of your success in this company, a statistical anomaly. A 1 in a million, a freak of nature, whatever you want to call it. So my question is, For someone watching this that sees you at the among the very top people in the company, literally out of hundreds of thousands of people that have come through this company, and you're one of the top 4 or 5. That's accurate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I'm sure I'm in the top 10. I'm not sure where I am at any given moment.
I'm sure it changes all the time. Well, obviously you're among the top, even the top 10, even the top 25, right? Why you? What is it about? Like, I give you a parallel, okay? People used to ask me. I worked with Andre Agassi many years ago when he was coming up and when he was one of the best players in the world. And people would say, "What makes him?" You're working with him as part of the coaching team. I was on part of the coaching team. What makes him so much better than he was a statistical anomaly? And what makes him so much better? And I could literally explain mechanically what made him different than the other best players in the whole world because I worked with him every day for like a year. What makes Jeff Levitan that statistical anomaly?
Number one, I know statistically I might be in this business, but I still have the belief that most people can do what I do. I don't think I do anything fantastic or different that other people can't do. I just think I do things they're unwilling to do.
But you're a top among the top. Not even,
But even of the top, the reason I'm at the top is because when I hit $100,000 a year income, I kept working. A lot of people were comfortable with that and they stopped. They literally stopped going out into the field doing financial planning. They stopped going to the office every day. And they stopped doing those things and dialed it back because they were comfortable. Some get comfortable at $250,000 a year. Some get comfortable at 500, and some just don't necessarily get comfortable. Now, financially, growing up broke, I was already financially comfortable, but I wasn't comfortable because I had set big goals for my life. I read enough books and attended enough seminars on goal setting, and they all taught me to start with the end in mind. Go all the way to the end of your life and decide what you want it to look like and who you want to be. Get a good, clear picture of that, and then backwards engineer what it's going to take to get there. And then when you hit certain levels, you don't stop anymore. And that's what I did back in my 20s. And so as I succeeded and hit even a 7-figure income, which I feel very blessed to get that sort of compensation ever, I just shifted my focus from just making more money for me to have more and nicer things to doing better things for other people. And that's when I started a children's charity, and I started traveling around the world and helping those who can't help themselves. And so I spun that off, and when you go do philanthropy or charity work, you find out that $1 billion isn't enough.
Sure.
So then you got a new passion that's not necessarily about the money, but you got to keep going.
Is that why you keep coming to the office and you kept going while other people do kind of lay back?
That's exactly why. And here's what I believe. All the people at 100 and 250 and 5, if you could get into this business and you can make 100 grand, you can make 250, you can make 2 million. It's in our model, the way we're structured, somebody who just keeps going can continually make more compensation and grow a bigger and bigger business. The reason more people aren't there is because they get comfortable along the way, and then that's it. And it's okay if they do that, by the way. I don't think everyone has to keep going, and everyone doesn't have to try to change the world. And the number of people that have that ambition to go make an impact on the world with their life, they're few and far between. But I do know this, a lot of people can come here and still have a great life. I love people. I love people that are my business partners and associates, my clients. I care about my clients, and I just genuinely care about people. I think real wealth is relationships. To be totally honest, there's money. There's a lot of people with a lot of money, and no one likes them, and they're not happy, and they're not fulfilled. And then there's a lot of people out there that don't have much, but they have wealth in relationships, and they have wealth in community. And who's wealthier? Really. I think the goal isn't money, it's fulfillment. And I want to keep going. If you can keep going, I feel like I should. I also feel that my goal here was not just, it initially was to become financially secure myself, but then I realized that we had a crusade and a mission to go help other families get there. And frankly, my job's not done. There's enough people out there that are worried tonight about losing their car to a repossession, their house to a foreclosure, their job and their kids' college funds, and their retirement. And so just because I'm okay financially, I don't feel that I should stop doing what I'm doing, which is helping those people get over that hump. So I feel called. Call it a calling, I don't know, whatever you want, but I feel compelled to continue on and keep helping people.
So looking, as you said earlier, with about seeing the end in mind, in terms of success, I mean, I know you not too far. I was in your town, Milton, the other day, thinking about you riding my motorcycle, and I didn't go by your house because I didn't know where it was exactly. But I know you bought a house the size of a country club. I know, which is beautiful. I've seen it online. Beautiful place. So congratulations.
Thanks.
Are you still motivated by the material things? I mean, you've got so much. I mean, are there still things you are motivated by, or is it just mostly the mission or the calling, as you said?
I'll tell you. I mean, it's a funny story. My parents come by, and of course they were divorced when I was young because they fought about money. And I don't know. I'm not sure that if they had enough they'd be together. But the point is, there was 2 separate visits. My mom came, my dad came. Here's their question: why do you need all this? Why do you need this big house?
That sounds very Chicago-like.
Yes.
I think I heard that at one point in my life as well, yeah.
And I smiled and
what are you going to do?
I said, Mom, Dad, I don't need it. I'm past the need stage of my life, but I want it so that I could share it with, I do retreats like you do here. I have it. I had 50 people at my house last weekend, and we were all canoeing and playing tennis and basketball and playing a little soccer and swimming in the pool, and I share it all with the people that helped me get it. And we enjoy it. I do have a big family, 5 children, and maybe counting, we'll see. But I share it with everyone, and I need a bigger place to host. I lived in a gated community, a nice neighborhood, and when everyone came over, the neighbors complained, and I got ticketed and all that other stuff. And we were not having a big party with alcohol and all this. It was just a lot of people that have common goals in life, and we were just spending time together, mentoring and fellowshipping, and we were having fun. And so I got a bigger place with more driveway space and a bigger yard, and we're using it.
It's a big yard.
And I've got, it is. It is. And I've got more people coming this weekend, and for the next 4 weekends, I've got leaders from different offices coming in, and I'm having fun, and we're trying to train them up. I'm going to teach them how this thing really should work and how to adjust their business to be more effective and to be more successful. So there is a law of diminishing returns with stuff. Stuff does not make you happy long term. If you share it with people, then it's the sharing that's fun.
Sure.
It's the enjoying with people you enjoy. That's where the fun comes in. Another car that sits in a garage like a museum that you get to show off and brag about, it's nice. I don't condemn anyone that has nice things, and I hope to have more too. And I also hope to do more charity work, and I hope to help more families with my business. I don't have this either-or scarcity mentality. I have an abundance mentality. I think you can have both. I think you could be kind and driven. I think you could be ambitious and charitable. I think you could be more than just in a box as one thing. And I think as people explore themselves more, they can find out that they were meant to do more, and they should explore doing more with their life. This is their one shot to go do something big, and why settle? Why settle for a job they don't like too much or compensation they don't think is fair for them? And why should one person get great things in their life and someone else not? But you got to go for it. We are in America, and I think this is the place, the land of opportunity. People are still, risking their lives to get to this great country for its opportunity. But so many people here that were born into it don't even see the opportunity right in front of their face. And they really ought to take advantage of more opportunities and try more things and see what they're made of. And that's my philosophy on that.
What do you think is the most misunderstood aspect of WFG?
I think it would be the intentions. It's amazing. We judge others by, we judge ourselves by our intentions, but not other people.
Right.
This company was created by good people to solve a problem, which was the lack of education at the fundamental level around money and finances and insurance. That's why it was created. And we've done it. And we're doing it. And it's working. And we're not perfect. And we got a lot of problems. And we're working on our problems just like every other company is working on theirs. We're trying to get better, though. That's the difference. We're not trying to cash out and take advantage of as many people as possible and then get out of business. We're trying to be here forever. I've planted my flag here for the rest of my life. I've been here 23 years. I want to be here 23 more. And this thing's got to be around to benefit me the next 23 years. So I got to protect it, and I am protective of it. So you can imagine when I see any negative stuff or hear the negative press that that it hurts, number one, but I want to address it. And I'm glad you did this book. I think it's important, and some people are going to say, aha, I knew that was it. And other people are going to say, oh, I could see the other point of view now. And so I appreciate you, and thank you for doing this book. I think it's necessary, and I think that you draw a lot of attention to the things that are probably criticized the most. But I hope within the people you've interviewed that the answers came out as honestly and truthful as possible and transparent as possible. And people can still make their choice. And here's the thing, Steve, if people choose not to do this, I'm okay with that. This is not for everybody. I think that would be it. This isn't for everybody, neither is anything. So, but if they don't do this, I hope they do something entrepreneurial. Because I've got an entrepreneur spirit, and I think it's rewarding. I think it's one of the most rewarding things in the world to be my own boss and control my future a little bit more than having someone else control it, no matter what anyone chooses to do.
What would you say to the person's watching this now? They've been watching it and they're excited, but they're also a little bit frightened because they're not really sure if they should go over the fence or not with WFG. What would you say to that person? You're looking 23 years down the road. You're at the top of the company. This person's kind of scared. You know how it is. Go back to that place where,
Sure.
Maybe they don't have any money. Maybe they're struggling. Maybe their spouse is saying, if you do this, we're going to fight about it. And they're going to fight about it. It happens, What would you say to that person watching right now?
Number one, spouses fight about everything anyway.
True.
So
True.
there's just one more thing to fight about.
Just put it on the list.
Number two, I got 5 kids, and they just switched schools when I moved, and they were scared to go to school. And here we are 2 months, 3 months in, and they love it now. People say, what if I tried and it doesn't work? What if you don't try it and it would have worked? You got to think about that too. And give it a shot. It's $100. Step your foot in. At least check it out from the inside out. Instead of just sitting on the outside, in the stands, put on some shoes and give it a try. Get in the game a little bit and just try it out for a while and see. And if it doesn't work out, have you really lost that much? I think everyone should give it a shot that's considering it. And then if they don't like it, well, then that's fine. I'm fine with that. But and maybe that's why we have so many people that don't make it, is because I'm fine with them deciding not to do it. But I think everyone should give it a try. Why not? You're going to learn a little bit about money and finance and insurance. You're going to get into personal development because all of our offices do that. And you're going to meet some good people. You're going to meet some people you don't like. But that's the world we live in. I think you'll meet a lot of people you really do like.
I don't think I've ever met a WFG person I didn't like, really, seriously.
Well, there you
I can't
go
say
right
that about
there.
very many places.
You've met a lot of people.
A lot of them.
In your line of work, you've interviewed and met a lot of people. And I think by far and large, the type of people that we attract, that stay, are mostly really good people that you'd enjoy and want to be friends with.
They're nice people.
I think so. And they have good hearts.
They do. That's true. What's the one question, Jeff, just in conclusion here, the one question that I didn't ask you that you wish I would have asked you, either about the opportunity or your success or anything that might help the new person looking at this?
That's a great question. I would probably, if you were to ask me a question and it's about the book, you've asked me what all the criticisms are. I would say you should ask, what do you like most about it? What do you like most about this company?
What do you like most about this company,
Hey,
Jeff?
great question, Steve.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
I like
yeah.
that one. So a few things. Number one, as a business, I think it's a great business. I haven't found a lot of businesses, and when you start having money, everybody brings their other businesses to you and their other business ideas to you. Someone brings things. Most of them cost a lot of money. And this one, it's such a low cost of entry. I like that part of it. I like the fact that there's a financial education element to it. No matter what we sell and no matter which products are out there, someone could come here, get licensed, and learn all about it, and then make their own decisions. I do have a finance degree from school, and I didn't learn any of these products and services in college. I can't say I was always paying attention, but I'll tell you that I don't think they drilled down into practical application. I've learned everything I know about money and finances and insurance and investments from being in it. And I can't think of anybody that wouldn't benefit from that, unless they're already in the financial industry. And for those folks, I'm glad they're doing what they do for a living. I do think that our model's better. I honestly believe that building your own agency, the opportunity to develop other agents is rewarding and profitable more than just building a book of business. So most people knock on it and say, oh, the recruiting's a bad thing, the recruiting's a bad thing. I think it's one of the best things. If I was not recruited and introduced to this company, a lot of lives would be very different today. So I'm actually a fan of it, even though it's also highly criticized. I think a lot of people that wouldn't have been given a shot in life have been given a shot here. And I love that about our company. And that's why I'm still here after 23 years.
My last question for you, Jeff, is what's been your greatest joy in all the 23 years with WFG?
Well, I met my wife in this business. I think that's pretty joyful. And we have 5 wonderful kids. There's a man who's a mentor of mine, and there's a lot of them in my life in this business, but I was mentored by very good men. Greg Kapp was my initial mentor and still is today. He's one of my best friends in my life. Rich Thawley. There's people that are good men of substance, good family men. So I had good people, good examples in front of me at all times. And there were some that weren't good examples, and I decided not to follow them. You know, it's like anything in life. But my best friends in my life are in this business. And I'll guarantee you they're good people. And when I look at goals in the future, most people, their friendships are based on who they have a common past with. And I think as you mature, you should have friendships based upon people you have a common future with. And so the reason for the friendship changes. And I've got a common future with a lot of the people. And I don't mean just making a lot of money in business. I mean changing the world and going out and building orphanages and schools in these underdeveloped countries. And even outside of my charity, a lot of other people have their philanthropies and other causes. And I know a lot of them donate a lot of their money and do a lot of good with what they've been given and blessed with. So,
can you tell us a little bit about your charity before we wrap up?
I'd love to. You asked earlier if more money makes more happiness. And I'll tell you, at 30 years old, I had made a lot of money. I had become a millionaire by 30. And that is verifiable. But I'll tell you what, I wasn't fully happy. I still had some emptiness. I wasn't fulfilled. And I thought, well, maybe if I go get a new Rolex or another car or a bigger house, it'll bring me happiness and fulfillment, and it didn't. And then I remembered going to a seminar once, one of these personal development seminars, and they said the quality of your life will be determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. So I started asking myself the tough questions. What do I really want? Is it more money? And it wasn't. It was a sense of contribution. And so I thought, okay, well, what can I do? What can one person like me do? I was 30 years old. I had $1 million, but I didn't have $100 million. And I thought, well, what can I do? And that's when I started All for One, which is a children's charity. And it's starting to get big. It's been around for over 15 years. And it's done really good things, and then it slowed down because I'm the one running it, and sometimes I get busy with life. I had 5 kids, and
sure,
the markets are good, and then they're not, and I have to work on my business. But it's starting to really gain some momentum, and we've done a lot of great things.
What does the charity do?
Right now, we build child prosperity. The goal is to end child poverty in the places where it needs to be ended more than anywhere, which is underdeveloped countries. Those that are facing extreme poverty, people are living on less than $1 or $1.25 a day. And we've been to Nicaragua, Haiti, parts of the Philippines, Africa. We built an orphanage in Uganda, a school in Uganda. We just started on the clinic. Sierra Leone in Africa. I just adopted a little boy from Sierra Leone last year, a 5-year-old boy. He's 5 now. But we're building a 100-child orphanage on a school campus, and we support the clinic there. And so we're going to, once we start getting more grant money and even get bigger, the goal is to do 5 to 10 of these a year all over the world. And it's going to be a school, a clinic, and an orphanage all together. And it's going to take those who have a least chance of success and prosperity in their life and give them a great chance of it.
That's fantastic.
And so that's what I'm up to, and that's what I plan to retire doing. So I may surge up here in this business. I love this. This is my domestic mission, is to help families with their finances, and then internationally it's to help orphans mostly, but kids that don't have anything have a chance at a good life.
How's it feel to do that?
It's so fulfilling. It's more fulfilling than any money I've ever received in my life. And that's why I continually do it. And that's why I try to get other people to do something that has to do with giving to others. I think that's the most rewarding. I think that's why we're here on this planet. I think that's one of the major things all of us should do more of. But I don't want to be up on a soapbox preaching to anybody. I think someone ought to try it on a little scale, see how it feels. And I think once you get that feeling of contribution, you want to do more and more and more of it. And you feel more connected to people and more purposeful with your life. And I think most people want more purpose in their life.
Jeff, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
And thanks for watching. See you next time.